The second cradle for developing qualified national pedagogues with high education was established in Leninakan with a decision of the National Council of Armenia. It aimed to alleviate the marked deficit of teachers and to promote the progress of the academic life in the northern part of the country. The Pedagogical Institute and its three departments, that of linguistics, physics, mathematics, and history, were located in one of the finest buildings of Alexandropol, in the former building for the College of Trade, where the rigorous history of the Armenian University had begun too. Later it was transferred to Yerevan. The university had about 100 students and professors for the first academic year. However, within a very short time, the president of the university, Samvel Movsisyan, managed to gather a competent professional staff, to involve the renowned teachers of the city and to invite prominent specialists from the capital. Along with the theater, the university soon became the source for the pride among the citizens of Leninakan. It turned to a real center for the academic and scientific life of the city. The university had more than 350 graduates in the first years of her existence. Graduates who took up the responsibility of educating and bringing up the younger generation of the city and the neighboring regions. The pre-war period was the time for the institute to become more strengthened and energized. The faculties were established, different issues of academic and scientific character came to be solved. She was named after the great Armenian illuminator and democrat Mikhail Nalbandian in 1949. The institute continued its unprecedented upheaval. The number of students and professors continued to grow, and the academic life continued to blossom. There were 420 students studying in 3 departments of the institute in 1980s. The technical capacity of the institute was also enlarging. The wood and metal processing workshops were established along with physical and other laboratories, academic rooms, the reading hall. The library was enriched. The Golden Fund was developed where nowadays about 700 rare books of special value are kept, the oldest one dating back to 1650. The enlarged technical capacity contributed to improving the quality of academic life and to the growing number of students. However, the progress of the institute soon lingered. The institute gained its independence in 1966 with a history of more than 3 decades and with strong customs. The time itself demanded marked development of the quality of the academic staff, and all the conditions were ensured for the best graduates of the institute to enter for PhD studies in big scientific centers. The latter, in its turn, increased the number of associate professors. Soon, the institute had new doctors, qualified professors in the development of linguistics, physics, mathematics, and culture. Furthermore, new academic buildings were acquired or constructed, sports hall center, student dormitory, a new multi-profile complex with new laboratories, linguaphone halls, lecture halls, section for evening studies, student dining hall, and the camp in the bewildering nature of the Lori region. The Tziternak Pop Folk Song Ensemble, Wind Orchestra, and the United Chorus won statewide recognition. The student theater, the clubs for the creative and the fun, the sports and patriotic clubs were long deeply revered by the city population. In short, the most favorable conditions were provided for not only higher academic life, but also for the leisure and entertainment of the professional staff. Those were also years for advanced knowledge and creative work for the professional staff. Periodic state and union scientific summits, increased number of professors with advanced academic degrees, publication of manuals, scientific works, establishment of the Department of Culture, and later in 1980 that of Pedagogy, active involvement of the students in the scientific research, strong ties and cooperation links with other institutes, international cooperation, etc. The institute marked an increased recognition in the Republic. Her 400 graduates got recognition in different fields of science, literature, and arts. They became real heroes in state governance and public administration. The earthquake of 1988 was a big strike for the institute. One of its campus buildings was completely destroyed. 104 students, professors, and other employees fell the victim to the disaster. Even in those days of personal grief and eternal misfortune, people found power to think about the endangered future of the institute. Just 1 week after the disaster, the team of the Nalbandians gathered at the yard of the main building of the institute and decided to resume functioning despite the disaster. Due to the really heroic efforts of the professors and the students, the physics-mathematical department resumed its work in the 10s. One of the half-destroyed buildings of the former kindergarten started to be utilized for the linguistic department. Soon, the temporary wooden container buildings were set up very rapidly. Life gradually came back from the deflection. The professors and the students returned. The institute survived unimaginable difficulties, vigorously tackling the post-disaster. In 1994, the institute finally moved into the newly constructed Sul building in the Ani district, quickly adapting it for the institutional needs, thus solving the urgent space issue. Within the last 15 years, lecture halls and labs with modern equipment, 2 closed sport halls, open-air sports sites, and magnificent gardens surrounding the institute building were set up. The departments were reformed, and 2 new ones were established, due to which the recurrent number of departments increased to 6. The university also established its own high school. The distant learning system was also introduced in 2000 in response to the modern reforms in the educational system.
Հատկապես վերջին տարիներին ռեկտոր Վարդևան Գրիգորյանի նախաձեռնությամբ
Due to the efforts of the President Vartevan Grigoryan, tremendous work was undertaken in terms of structural changes, introduction of new professions, workshops for sculpture, sewing, clay, and aesthetic processing of metal.
Գործության եւ մետաղի գեղարվեստական մշակման հարմարավետ արվեստանոցները։
The Laraber monthly periodical of the institute started to be issued since 1996. In 2005, the first TV program of the institute, Leragir, clung to air. The unique TV studio with modern equipment was established in the institute, a studio with no similar one in any of the institutes in Armenia, a studio that provides all the necessary conditions for montage and development of TV programs. The theater was reborn. The institute course is marked with mastery performances, the annual exhibitions of the works of sculpture, painting, and graphic design. The award ceremonies for literary works have become a unique form of public examination of creativity. A computer center is established with 24-hour internet access. All the university structures are equipped with computer technologies. Due to all these innovations, the institute is an authentic center for academy and culture for the second city of Armenia. Gyumri State Pedagogical Institute has given more than 200,000 graduates, most of whom reverently serve the sublime mission of the pedagogue.